Hello, it is I, Ramses the 800th, and we're here for weekly manga roundup. Even though it's been, I think, a week or two since the previous one, and I have been missing some things, but that's perfectly fine. And we have, what is it? One, two, three, four, five, a few things to talk about, but we're gonna go over basically everything we're gonna talk about. We're gonna go over two bits of news, but they're gonna come whenever we get to them. So get ready for that. But we're gonna cover five manga right now. We're gonna catch up. Obviously, today's Chainsaw Man Tuesday, but we're not gonna touch Chainsaw Man yet. Chainsaw Man's going to be at the end. We're gonna touch Chainsaw Man, Kaiju number 8, which I completely missed out on before because I always forget whenever it uploads. So we have two chapters of Chainsaw Man, two chapters of Kaiju number 8, a chapter of Kagurabatchi, a chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, and a chapter of RuriDragon. I'm not going to go too much in depth in them because I really want you guys to read them and obviously catch up with the series, but we're going to go over like some of them. And as you can tell, I'm on the main website. Um, I don't cover One Piece because there's a lot, like I always say, there's a lot of other people who do a lot better than I can. And right now, we're kind of like hurting for like, at least for me, I'm hurting for like series outside of like I'm really hurting for manga to read because a lot of them are ending, and or a lot of them are getting close to ending, which is like it's hurting my soul. But we do have a lot of good ones that are like newer or up and coming. Speaking of one that is newer and up and coming, we're gonna start with the outlier. Well, you probably saw it. We're gonna start with the outlier in all this, RuriDragon. I completely forgot that a chapter came out this week, so I obviously read it really quick. And truthfully, I really like this chapter because we get more like insight on Ruri and a little bit on her mom. Like we're going over like what Ruri threw up last chapter, and it was venom, and it was like it was venom. I was gonna say toxins, but it was venom. We figured out why it happened, why she threw it up, what kind of properties it could have. Yeah, like we find out that Ruri like it's nothing bad, but since it's new to her body, she's kind of like a body would do it, just she just like throws it up. But we find out that her venom can be used kind of like a hypnosis thing for like people, and that's very scary and interesting. And I think on this chat on this page, it's like dragons and their type use seem it more like dark magic. It's like oh god, hallucinations. Oh god, hallucinations and other psychological effects. It's kind of like uh, um the poison that kind of just messes with your mind, and less poison that like destroys the body. And the interesting thing is how Ruri's mom talks about their dad. It's like the type your dad and his ilk have is described more like dark magic. So I don't know what Ruri's mom's relationship is with the dad. It's probably not the best, but it's just really weird. And another strange note, let's go back a little bit. Um, Ruri was talking about a dream she had, and she said, where was it? I had a dream about my mom. Where was it? I think a little further back. Yeah. Um, my mom turned into a monster, and we don't know what this was, but it was probably something funny, like bad, air quotes. But we get more on like I said, like Ruri's mom. We get like her fourth trait being venom. I very much believe that her last trait is going to be wings or a form of flight. That's my belief. But we get something I'm pretty sure I talked about before. How does the teacher know, Mr. Takemoto? How does Mr. Takemoto know that it was venom? He saw it and he said, "Oh, this is venom." That's so weird. Why would he know that? And Ruri thinks about that. She's like, how? And I love that she just basically walked up to him and said, like, "How do you know so much?" And he was like, "Oh, they like the hospital and doctors are keeping me like up to date so I can better help you." Which he's a great teacher and it makes sense. And yeah, it like I love these chapters because like these people act like people. Like Ruri is a very much a kid, and she goes, "Oh, how does he know so much?" Literally walks up and asks him, and he tells her. He says, "To be 100% honest, I knew a lot of stuff because they're telling me. They show me this stuff, and I go, oh, okay, and I have to keep it in mind whenever stuff happens. They already told me that there was something in you, like a form of like venom, so I just had to keep a lookout for it. And when you threw up, I figured, oh, that's probably the venom," which logically makes perfect sense. Uh, And we get this interesting scene. I assume this is at the beginning of the day. We get this very interesting scene where Ruri's like in the committee, and people are basically trash talking her. They're saying like her horns are gross, it's creepy, like how'd she grow those pointy things anyway? Blah blah. Like basically, these are shots to her self esteem, and Ruri's clearly like agitated by this stuff. I don't know where this is gonna go, but I know that again in this chapter, Ruri's mom was talking about now that you've developed venom, you're kind of more in that gray area of being a human and being like a something else. But try to keep people believing that you are human because you are truly half human. But it's going to be a little harder now that you're throwing up venom to convince them. You know, I really like how the story is going. It could have gone like so many other ways, and I really like how I guess cute this is going right now. And what we can get next chapter is probably how Ruri's going to deal with this because we now know that she's taping her horns. Like right here, we see a perfect thing. She's taping her horns because A, they're cutting through her clothes, but it's also kind of like a hiding and being more ashamed of the horns because you know they are dangerous, and now she has to be a little bit more self-conscious about what she's doing. She can't just be she has to be like hyper aware of her own body, which could lead to self-esteem problems. And I keep saying I think this arc is going to end with her going to meet her dad because we really do not know anything, and I feel like a confrontation with the father is going to help explain a lot of stuff and kind of like help Ruri in her progress, or it could just make it worse. But you know, those are like the funny things about like a series like this. So RuriDragon, that's chapter 19. We're gonna get chapter 20 next. Really good. So that's that. I really am excited for it. But that's the end of a RuriDragon segment. We can move on to Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, let's cover the chapter and then we could talk about it. Jujutsu Kaisen, this is very much a prelude to what comes next because we get cool action scenes, and I'll talk about some theories I have for Jujutsu Kaisen. But you know, hold on. Right now, we basically get Yuji talking to Megumi, and Megumi's just like, life isn't like you can let me go, man. I'm good. You know, like everything I care about so far has been like basically shut down. My life ain't too good right now. He's like, oh, I miss eating certain foods, going to like staying gazing at like the laundry in the sky. It's like walking with my friends, you know, and that stuff is a problem. And we also get more insight on Yuji's grandpa and why he died, air quotes. But basically, he had cancer. I assume I don't remember too much about early JJK. My memory is very fuzzy. I don't remember if they said he had cancer, but I know he was in the hospital. But he chose to basically die. He chose euthanasia, I think it's what it's called. And Yuji had to deal with that. He had to deal with the idea of his only living relative choosing death, you know? And I very much believe that this is like insight into what's going to happen with Yuji later on, but you know, whatever. Um, then he's like, you saying like I don't have a say on what you get to do with your life. And then we get a hollow worker basket in Yuji's domain, which is a field, which is kind of like it's also snowing, which is kind of like when he walked down Mahito. It's like a open field with snow, and we're getting like the basically this entire thing is basically fighting, you know. It's all scrapping. We get like hollow worker basket, stuff like that. How Sakuna, when he's able to do hollow worker basket, he can also fight and obviously chant. He can do a lot of stuff. And then it's just straight hands, boxing, 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 boxing. Amazing action, and we have Sakuna going. I'm surprised, you know, at how furious I get when someone looks down. Like he's basically saying like you were talking shit. I'm getting angry, and now I'm gonna very much enjoy like beating you up, you know. And we get this scene which is exactly like when Kid Fushiguro or Kid Megumi saw what's his face Gojo. Oh my god, for the first time, or when they first met, and he's asking what's with that look, and Yuji's just like, I come on, man. Like, I miss you, guy. Like, I'm lonely without you, Fushiguro. Which makes sense because at this point, it's literally only Yuji fighting. He's by himself. Hikari and Uraume are over on the corner playing chess or whatever. They're fighting for God knows how long. But we get Megumi being like, you know what? Maybe I won't go down like a pansy, and decides to pitch in and help. And Yuji gets like a nice rock right into Sakuna's face, sending him all flying. And then we get Yuji going like, "My boy," basically. And they're basically this is the funniest thing in the world. This they're just beating each other's heads in. Just they both grab each other and just start wailing on each other's head. Amazing, completely funny. And then Yuji basically wins it, beats out the thing, and actually breaks. He actually chips the hollow worker basket, which means like his defense is kind of wonky. Sakuna gets back his innate curse technique, which is awful because now he has domain. But we also have a few reveals on this page. Okay, so his burnout curse technique is now reset. He has his domain, he has his stuff, and right before he's about to bring out his domain, he goes, "Wait a fucking minute. Where's his finger? Wait a minute. I can sense my finger." And we get this scene right here. Like, this reveal, I think, is a segue to how the series is going to end. Because the prevailing theory was, oh, well, at least Sakuna thought, oh, Rika ate my other finger. That's how Yuto was able to use cleave. But that's not true. From what we could see here is Yuji probably snapped off one of his fingers, gave it to gave it to Rika so that they can get cleave and dismantle, kind of throwing off Sakuna, because once he sees the cleave and dismantle, he goes, "Oh, that's how that works," you know? But in truth, it's somewhere else. Where this is, I have no idea. It seems really low because if you see here, you get the spiral staircase, and it's all the way down at the bottom. You can see the strings here. So this, I don't know where this could be, but wherever it is, it's very safe, and I don't know why they're showing this to us. So I feel as though it is my responsibility as somebody who's, oh, that was weird, as somebody who's covering this chapter to say, recently, I believe yesterday, it was revealed that Jujutsu Kaisen has 5 chapters left. Only 5. On September 30th, this series is going to end. That is so strange, and also kind of sets certain things into stone, right? So the merger definitely can't happen. In 5 chapters, absolutely not. It cannot happen. We're probably going to get 1 chapter of epilogue. My preferred would be 2, but it's probably going to be 1. And that basically means we have 4 to 3 chapters of more content, right? So here's how I think. I believe there are 3 possibilities for how the series is going to end. And it all depends on what happens with the finger, right? Either the finger, they just show it and nothing else happens with it. Okay, that will lead down to 2 options. The 2 options would be, oh, my brain. Yuji kills Sakuna in Megumi's body, killing Megumi. He kind of does one final stand. Megumi kind of helps him from within, and then they kill Sakuna, killing Megumi in the process. Right? Right. This is also going based off of what Gege said a long time ago, which was the either one person lives or one person dies. That idea he said. So this very much hinges on that. That will only leave Yuji left, which kind of makes sense, but the second option would be Yuji basically taking his grandpa's approach, choosing death, somehow getting Sukuna back in his body, and killing himself along with Sukuna, or dying with Sukuna, something like that. Basically like that. The third option is something to do with the finger. So, my theory, I'm still coping. I'm still very much coping hard for Nobara to be alive, because it'd be really cool if we have Megumi fighting from within Sukuna, Yuji fighting Sukuna in reality, and Nobara fighting Sukuna from all the way wherever this finger is. You know? Because Nobara's, I forgot what her technique's called, but the curse, the soul attacking is perfect for having the finger here. You just keep hammering the soul, right? Until he gets like damaged enough to where Yuji could probably take him out of Megami, or we could do something like that, where we get those really hard, like, because I don't think we've ever seen all three of them fight together at once. And if Nobara comes back, probably with the eye patch, doing soul resonance, that's what it's called, doing soul resonance to the finger, hitting Sakuna, Yuji hitting him from the outside, and then Megami doing some like shadow stuff to like mess with Sakuna from the inside. That'll be all three of them fighting. It'll be a 3-on-1, and maybe that's how it ends. Like they beat him, they get Sakuna out. I don't know how. Maybe they could kill his soul and just leave the body. I don't know. But those are like the three options, truthfully. One hinges on if Nobara comes back. The other one hinges on if Fushiguro decides to like dip out. And the other one hinges on the fact if Yuji's willing to just like kill Sakuna. If Yuji's willing to kill himself by taking Sakuna out. But I don't really know. I really don't. I really hope we get Nobara back, because then we can have the three of them like be fucked up. Yuji's missing 2 fingers, Nobara's missing an eye. Because yes, we got the flashback to Yuji being like, "Oh, everyone I've lost," and then we see Nobara, but we still don't know. Really, we don't know, and that'd be a really cool way, because Nobara's soul resonance is broken. It's a very broken thing, and that was always an idea that I feel a lot of people had is, oh, Nobara gets the finger, soul resonance, it can hurt Sakuna, right? But we don't know. So that's kind of like the end of the JJK discussions, at least for now, because we there's a chapter next week, and we're probably going to get chapters for the next few weeks, but like we don't know what Gege's cooking. But I think in one of the interviews he said like, "Oh, I'm trying to make it a good or happy ending." I don't know if he's like, I don't remember if he said if he's trying to make a good ending or if he's trying to say he made a happy ending. But let's hope we probably get something for Hikari, something. But I'm gonna explain how I think the chapters are gonna be laid out. Right? These are because we have 5. I want 2 chapters of epilogue, but we're probably not gonna get that. We're probably only gonna get 1. So this is how I think it's gonna be set up. Next chapter, I 100% believe we're gonna get a hard cut to the end of the Hikari and Uraume fight. It's not Uraume. Whatever. The ice person's fight. We're gonna get that. And we're also going to get an explanation on what Yuji's domain is doing. Because I'm gonna go back a little bit. We're in Yuji's domain. This forest and snow stuff. This is Yuji's domain. We have no idea what it's doing or what like the stipulation is, what his technique is doing in here. We don't know. So I think we're gonna get Uraume. Yeah, I think it's Uraume and Hikari, end of their fight, and then the explanation of Yuji's domain. Next chapter is probably going to be the penultimate fight, and this is where we're going to get the who's going to die, or if anybody's going to die. That chapter is going to be either Yuji finding a way to get Sakuna into his body, Yuji finding a way to kill Sakuna Megami, or Nobara coming in with the last minute save. We're going to get the final segment, the final like hit, final kill, and then that's going to be chapter 3 or 4. It's going to be chapter 3, I'm going to say. Chapter 4 is going to be like the immediate aftermath of the death, like maybe like saying goodbyes. We're probably going to get a chapter of the inside world that we see occasionally whenever somebody dies, of Sakuna and Yuji, who are, it's probably going to be them because, and they're going to have a chat. Sakuna's going to be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I really don't know how it's going to end, but something like that. And then probably a time skip at the end. Probably not too far into the future, maybe like a few years, like 2 or 3 years. But we truly don't know what Gege is trying to do. It could end with Yuji literally next chapter doming Sakuna, and then that's it, But there has to be like some like makeup for some of the people who aren't dead, but also are out of commission. Like Maki. We need to figure out what the hell's happening with Maki. What the hell's happening with Yuta, who's currently in Gojo's body on the ground? You know? What's happening with who's that joke guy? Is he dead? Where is he? You know? And then like a few other I know the Shiesty Sorcerer is fine. That's the only name I know him by. The guy who has the black mask. But we really I keep saying it. I don't know. There's probably people out there who have better ideas of what is going to happen, but it's not me. I can tell you that. It's not me. But with the end of JJK coming in 5, My Hero literally just ended. Like before this break, My Hero literally just ended 2 weeks ago. And then not even 2 months later, another big shonen series is ending. That's crazy. Back to back, literally back to back endings. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. But with the end of JJK, we have a new upcoming series, which I love, and I'm pretty sure a few of you others also really love. Kagurabatchi. God, I love this show. I love this series so much. So this again is more of a aftermath chapter. After the auction, we basically get like again more setup on what comes next. You know, we get Chihiro waking up, the found family thing, like people basically ganging up. Like this is gang. You know, they're all having fun. They're all playing a video game. I don't even know what console this is. That console looks so weird. It's like a box that you're holding. Whatever. Yeah, they're all having fun. They're all gaming. We get aftermath. The kid who they saved the sibling of basically said thank you. I think he might come into play again, like sometime later. He might get some sort of magic or sorcery, whatever. But we're getting the next steps to the series. We get, like I said, I don't go over them too much in depth because I want you guys to read them. But we get like more of how the cursed energy and the spirit energy works. We get more of that. And we get designs for a few of the other blade wielders. We got them before, but we're getting more like close-up faces now. And that's very interesting. You know? We're getting more of the enchanted blades. We're getting like the guarding of the blades. And we're getting locations which can possibly, these are probably 4 other arcs, and that's going to be amazing. We get at least 4 arcs, because, you know, every time they fight an enchanted blade, it's always something. It's never easy. And we get the immediate after, like what happens now. And it's basically a trial to get Chihiro into the system so that he can be of assistance. And that's great. We get this guy again who we saw during the auction. And we've seen some of these guys before. Like we saw this guy before. We saw him. He looks familiar. But I think a few of these guys are new. I know he's new. I don't remember him. But they're basically doing a trial to get him on board. And then that's going to be the immediate next step. He's going to do that. They're probably going to send him on a mission, and that's going to be a mini arc. The thing I love looking at is how this story is going to continue, because you can break these up into arcs, but you never know what's in between them. You know, like the next arc, it's probably going to go like Sekuchi. I don't know how to pronounce that. The temple, the hot spring, the shrine, the subaru, sushi, whatever. These are probably 4 arcs, you know, but the next immediate arc probably isn't the temple one or the hot spring or any of these. It's probably the thing that deals with the trial. They're probably going to send him on a preliminary mission to deal with somebody. That's going to be a little mini arc. Then we get the temple, then we get the stuff, and there are probably mini arcs in between that. There is so much here that I would be damned. I'll be damned to hell and back if this doesn't become the number 3 series once JJK is gone. Number 3. Because we need this. JJK is going away. My Hero left. Like, I don't read too many other shonen stuff, like at least on Shonen Jump. I don't read Sakamoto Days. I heard it's good. I need to catch up with that. But from my standpoint, as a classic shonen reader, I'm going to go back to the main page. As a classic shonen reader, what do we really have left? You know, Jujutsu Kaisen's gone. Undead Unluck I heard is good. Like I watched the anime, but I haven't read the manga. I haven't caught up. But there really isn't anything else that fills that generic air quote shonen stuff. Unlike One Piece, we have One Piece always going to be there. Sakamoto Days is probably going to be number two. A lot of people told me that. Like Sakamoto Days is going to be like the second series, like right behind. And I 100% believe Kagurabatchi is going to be number three. Number three. And I honestly think Kagurabatchi might overtake Sakamoto Days in the sense that it is a more classic shonen thing. Like it's a teen boy, stuff like that. You know what I mean. But again, my classic saying, we don't know. I have faith. I've been on Kagurabatchi day one. And if this series can go on until it meets its like natural end and it's a pretty good ending, I'll be so happy. I'll be so happy. But now that since we finished the Kagurabatchi section, we can go to a section that probably should have been in the last week's one. Kaiju No.8. Lord, I love Kaiju No.8. I've been on this series for quite a while. I've been on it since, I want to say, the introduction of the blonde-haired pigtail girl. I've been on it since then. I don't remember when that was. Can't tell you when. But I think it was chapter 12. I think I've been on it since chapter 12. And honestly, I think the series is also coming to an end. It might end next chapter. I don't know. But there's like one big mystery that we don't know yet, but I'll explain that once we go into the chapter, which again, I highly recommend you guys read on your own because, Kaiju No.8 is great. And this is going to be like spoilers for the anime, kind of. So one of the big mysteries, at least for me, was when are we going to see the big monster form again? The one that fought in the end of the anime. And the answer is 2 weeks ago. So we knew Kafka was training to harness his ability better and get control over the kaiju as a kind of final trump card. Because the power we saw that form exude is wild. We really never saw that strength come from Kafka since then. He's gotten close, but we haven't really seen it. And here we have Kafka training with, I always forget this guy's name, Narumi. He's literally right there. We see Kafka train with Narumi to harness that mad kaiju form, the one that makes him act like an actual monster. And he's been training for it for a long time, and he goes ape, absolutely ape. And he seems to have control over it, and he says, I can control it for a minute. For 1 minute, I can control it, and that's my limit. And after that, I kind of have to turn it off, And this, first off, double page spread goes hard. Look at this. Look at this. Mina looks terrified, and he's like, back me up. Back me up, help me, and we should be able to get this done. And Mina's like, I don't like doing this. I can't stop him, truthfully, but all I can really do is support him right now and help him as much as I can so he doesn't have to stay in this form. And he goes into fight number 9 and 2. They're boxing, beautiful, crazy artwork, and we see the spiral thing that he did before, the twisting of the torso so he can get the extra hard hit, which is crazy. It's crazy. And if we could see here, he hits with his left arm, and he apparently continues to spin, and then hits again with his right arm, which I can only imagine the impact that does. And then he just hard energy blasts point blank in his face. Amazing. And Mina's giving cover fire, Kafka's boxing, and we get this amazing scene where it's like they're fighting across like buildings, destroying everything, and we see Mina obviously giving support fire. Crazy. And we also see her in some of these shots. We see her here. I think there's another one. I think they're right there, but we see her giving support, Kafka saying, oh, I have 2 techniques that it doesn't know yet. These are my last resorts, right? This is something that's also very interesting. Number 8, you were that sort of being all along, huh? This is also kind of poking the finger at what the hell is Kafka? You know, obviously number 9 knows what it is, clearly, because he's saying, "Oh, you're like that," you know. But we as an audience don't know, and they're fighting. They're going all the way over here. I believe there's something here that says it's not yet, and then they say like, "Oh, they've gotten to the point where they need to be." Oh, here it is. It's been 40 seconds. This entire fighting sequence has been 40 seconds. I can only imagine in the anime this is going to be like half an episode. It's going to be half an episode. He's going to say it's been 40 seconds. Crazy. But he's Kafka says all the pieces are in place. And number 9 gets blindsided by Kafka. This is a crazy like redirect. Look, he swings forward. He probably does hit him because obviously his arm goes that way, but he continues down and knees him in the leg, breaking it. Wild. But this is the big twist. The reason they came over here was because this is where Mina's main weapon is. This is where her giant gun is. The one that comes in the SH figure arts. I'm not going to drop it because I love the SH figure arts. This is a crazy panel to end off on. You know? Like, oh, next chapter, Mina's going to start firing. She's going to start blasting. And that's basically like checkmate. This is the checkmate, basically. But we don't have to wait long because 112 is here. And my favorite thing is that they quite literally use the same. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same art in the exact same way. They literally took the last panel from before and turned it right side up. And this is the panel now. Amazing use of art. Incredibly smart because this is a good way to like clearly segue into what happens next. Immediate, no hesitation, no nothing. Puts the gun down and fires. Obviously, 9/2 puts up a barrier and it shatters that barrier. But Mina's gunfire, it wasn't meant to like do anything else except shatter the barrier. It wasn't meant to hit him. It wasn't meant to do anything. Mina knew that it was going to put up the barrier, and that was meant to destroy the barrier so that Kafka can do his form. But since there's technically 2 numbered kaiju here, it can put up 2 shields. I assume it put up 2's shield. It put up 1 shield, like 9. It put up 9 shield first, and this one is 2's. Obviously, this isn't like me speculating. This is what happened because we see this and 2 disappears. The shield goes away. Kafka doesn't know any of this is happening, so he's just like, I'm gonna hit him either way. I just gotta hit him even harder, which is literally what Kafka's been doing. It's so funny. But here goes number 9. He's like, wait a minute. I like 2's going away. What's happening? We get this is a great thing that they could have done because we know Mina was being assimilated, but she was able to like willpower her way through. But now we know the previous head, I always forget his name. The previous head was able to kind of keep a little bit more of his consciousness for this moment. With the last of his power, with the last of his consciousness, he was basically able to force him to drop the shield, relinquish power of number 2, and let Kafka. This is a crazy art, beautiful art. Variant number 6 is his number 6 form. Just how many of my expectations are humans going to surpass? And this is going to be the end of 9, modified Thunderhammer. Because we see the core, it gets hit, and then we get this amazing 2-page spread. Beautiful art, beautiful, and we see like tendrils down here of probably his body going sideways. You know, like it's getting destroyed. And this is probably the end of number 9. Number 9 has been the villain throughout all of Kaiju number 8. Basically, he's been the main villain, constantly causing trouble, constantly evolving, constantly changing, and now he's dead. Or at least he's dying. Truthfully, there is no way that he survives this. And then either we move to the next stage. I honestly believe we probably have one more arc in Kaiju number 8 before the series ends. I truly believe that. Because there's one looming question that I've brought up a few times already in the series. A, what the hell is Kafka? And B, what was that thing that went inside of Kafka? The bug. And clearly, number 9 knew about it. He said, oh, you're one of those things. Whatever that means. We haven't gotten any announcements that Kaiju number 8 is ending anytime soon, but I wouldn't be surprised that perhaps by the end of the year, maybe even by this time next year, Kaiju number 8 will be over. I will not be surprised because I don't know if they ever explain where Kaiju's come from. I don't know if they ever explained that, but if they didn't, that's probably what we're going to get next. That's probably going to be the final arc, figuring out where Kaiju's come from and how to destroy them at the source. I assume Kafka's like soul heart thing is going to be a part of that. And I assume we're also going to get more insight on the monster that took over that gave Kafka this ability. Right? So that's the end of Kaiju number 8 for now. For now. Now, for its namesake, we're touching Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man Tuesday. The final chapter. Not the final chapter, but like the two most recent chapters. Because I didn't touch it last time. Mainly because it wasn't out. But we start off with, to me, this is the Yap chapter. This is pure talking. There's barely any fighting. This is all foreboding. This is very like hard, like tough stuff. And I feel like the author, that's the name of it. The chapter's called Aging. This is wild. Anyway, we figured out what the primordial devil that they had was. It was the aging devil. We also find out more on how the mechanics of the erasing of devils works. Like when the ear select, like when a demon is erased, nobody remembers it. And when a demon is returned, nobody remembered forgetting it. It was kind of like it's always been there. And they try to figure out the mechanics of it, but they want to try to get Chainsaw Man to eat the aging devil, which is obviously this primordial one. And they're trying to figure out the logistics of it. Like, oh, if we kill the aging devil, will everyone stop aging? Will the side effects of aging stop? Will old people like just disappear? How does it work? We don't know, and the only way to really know is to test it out. And they're kind of selfishly trying to figure it out. And they said the only way that the aging devil will accept dying is killing 10,000 children with Japanese citizenship between infancy and 9 years old in front of mirrors. These motherfuckers said yes immediately. And right now, I forgot her name. She is becoming a menace. She's a problem. And that's no joke. How do I explain this? She's not like Makima, who obviously Makima being the smart, kind of stupid. Like saying Makima's stupid is weird, but she's not all there. Makima was. She's like, oh yeah, I want to get rid of all the bad things in the world: war, famine, death, targeting her sisters. But we knew that she really just wanted Chainsaw Man for herself because she's like, I'm your biggest fan. I want Chainsaw Man. I want him to myself. This girl, I forgot her name, basically wants power. She wants to have power. She wants to have. That's where I'm getting. That's what I'm reading at least. She wants power. She wants control. She wants to be able to. Because look. The moment they say yes, she immediately goes, I knew they were going to say yes. I don't even know why I bothered asking. You know? And they just say like, yep, do it. Doesn't really matter. Let everybody die. You know? And this scene was crazy. She's like, yep, just give the word. We'll figure out how to do it within 48 hours. Right? And we get this cool transition shot of just them slowly realizing, I don't have a mouth. Nobody has mouths. He ate the mouth devil. He ate the octopus, mouth, snow, and bitterness devil. He ate all of them. Right? Probably not in this order, obviously. He probably ate the mouth devil last. But this complicates things so much because how does him throwing up a devil work? You know, how does it work? Does it just have to exit his body, or does he have to specifically throw it up? We can clearly see that it was just in his mouth, because obviously he has the stuff here. And it seems that in order to do it, he has to eat the head, because we don't really see him do anything else. Because every time he's eating somebody, he's eating the head, which might be like a weird link. I don't really know. But somebody brought up, I don't remember who it was. It was in like a video I saw before where Denji might be doing the hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. So people think the next one he's going to erase is the eyes devil. But people are also bringing up the fact that he's erasing his traumas, or at least Pochita's erasing Denji's traumas. Mouths, octopus, don't really know why. Snow is pretty obvious because Snow is this fight with his best friend Aki, and him killing his best friend and basically his brother. But the Snow thing is, I feel like the erasing the trauma thing might not be completely accurate for me, at least, mainly because the Snow thing, the snowball fight reference. Obviously, I'm talking about this as spoilers. The snowball fight is clearly like in that snowball fight, it was Aki hallucinating it. It was him seeing it as a snowball fight, not Denji. Denji was just seeing himself kill his friend, you know? But I don't really know. It might just be like, I think it's 100% random, but I believe in the fact that it's hear no, see no, and speak no evil. Because I think I 100% believe the next one is going to be Eyes Devil, if he ever does it again. Because they have to figure out a way to get him to throw up mouths. I feel like they just have to like cut him open and like get like the mouth devil out, but is that really how it works? We don't know. He might even just be able to rip a mouth open, because we don't know if it like fuses the teeth and make it so that he doesn't have a jaw, or if it just makes it so you don't have a mouth. But we don't know. What we do know is chapter 175 came out. And I feel like 175 is a counter to all this whole chapter in pure like theory, because this is basically all talking. It's all talking. That everyone's talking. There's almost no action. 175 is the exact opposite. There is no words. It's all visual, and there's basically only fighting, and it's great. I would say read it at your own, but there's nothing to read. Just watch it on your own, I guess. This basically gives you everything. A guy saw Pochita. He got scared. He ran away. This scene seems really funny to me, because especially since he doesn't have a mouth, so he's just looking back and forth. Like, I think he's like, "Where's everybody going?" And for this scene, I thought his neck turned 180 degrees, because we get forward, back, forward, and I thought his head turned around again, like he did a double take. But instead, he's just looking forward, killing 3 randos. Everyone else is going shit, and Katana Man. We get double hits from the aging devil, and we get Asa coming in. This is the most action we've had in a minute. Well, since the fight with Black Chainsaw Man before, but we get Katana Man, Asa with a sword. I don't know what type of sword that is, and then 2 hits from the aging devil. This is amazing. This is, like, for me, what I've been waiting for a long time. This man cut off both of his hands so easily, basically dismembered Katana Man. And obviously Woru is tired. She's like, fuck, I'm hurt. I need to get out of this. And she also lost her hand. So now she's basically no arms and trying to fight Chainsaw Man. Honestly, without the mouth, he looks terrifying, truthfully. He looks really scary. But we keep going. And we get this. I don't know if she's falling, if she like tripped, or if she's kneeling, but Chainsaw Man stops in front of her. And we get this shot. I don't know if this is like just blood splatter on her face, or if she's bleeding. Does she have those before? Doesn't look like it. So to me, it looks like her mark, like the marks on her face, are bleeding again, which kind of doesn't make sense, but whatever. It might just be blood spatter on her face, and I might just be overthinking it. But then we get this shot. Then we get this scene. And to me, when I'm pretty sure to most people, where you're going to get a flashback to when the Chainsaw Man, the hero of hell, ate nukes. Because she obviously remembers nukes. She remembers they existed. She probably just doesn't remember like what they did. She just knew that they were once a part of her. And this is probably going to be her remembering that. We're going to get a big flashback. I cannot wait until we get that, because we might get past Fami, past Makima, past Woru, and past death, or whatever that is. But we don't know. I always say that, my common phrase, we don't know. I'm just very excited for this, and I cannot wait. This is such like there's so much fear here. I don't know if this is fear, because obviously there's no mouth, but there's so much fear here. She's terrified of, like, she's like, I have to fight this thing again. I'm losing again. I don't know how to deal with this. This is what this is telling me. It's like, I was in this position before. I've had to deal with this before. I don't want to deal with this anymore. This is what that's telling to me. And next chapter is going to be so fun. Next chapter is going to be very interesting. We're going to get more on Woru, and that's going to be very exciting. Chainsaw Man Tuesday never disappoints, except when it does. But even when it does, it still hits. So that's basically the weekly manga roundup. But there is one other thing I want to talk about. I just want to find it real quick. Let me just. It was on Twitter, so I have to go to Twitter real quick. Sorry about that. Let's see. It's all trending on Twitter. Let's see. Hold on. Where is it? This. Anything here? No. Okay. Let's go to Twitter. Specifically my Twitter. Ooh. This is something to me that is very interesting. It's not like, it's kind of manga related, but not really. But this is a very interesting image specifically. But basically what this is, it's a manga submission thing. Next Battle Shonen, you can submit a manga. Go to the website here. Go and like check out the thing. I don't know if it's international. I really don't know if it's international. If it is, that's cool. I might try to do something myself. Who knows? I don't know. But you know, we got that submission. You can do submission stuff, and it's going to be judged by the mangaka for Black Clover, My Hero, JJK, and Bleach. And the craziest thing to me about all this is that the only series that is going to be around in September is going to be Black Clover. That's so weird. And this is all drawn by Horikoshi, which is amazing. Let's get a good look at this art. I don't know how well this is picking up here on the thing, but this is beautiful. Somebody made another post saying like it's been, what is it? It's from 2016 or 2017 where Horikoshi last drew Asta. And this is great. Truthfully, I love this. This is the best, you know. This warms my heart, especially since Deku and Asa are right next to each other. We got Yuji in the corner, right next to Ichigo. This is perfect wallpaper material. There are people out there who are filling in the gaps, basically left with the kanji. Like they get rid of the kanji and cover it with like more art, so you can have like a full artwork. That's 100% going to be one of my screensavers. Definitely, no question. But I just want to talk about this because obviously Black Clover news, obviously something from My Hero. Since the end of JJK is coming, and we get Bleach, who's also getting it, whose anime is getting its final season, finally. But I'm looking forward to this. I think this is really interesting. If you guys want to do like a submission in, do it. I think it was like 47 pages, but the problem is I don't know if it's international. So I don't know if you guys can find that information. If you can, put it in the comments, make a tweet about it, see if it's international. If it isn't, Western bros, we're hurting. But if it is, we get a chance, we can put it in, we can put something in. That'd be really cool. But I believe we've covered everything. Everything I want to talk about, at least. So that's that's the tea. That's the tea. That's the news. That's the manga stuff. I finally caught up. I finally made the video. I don't know when this video is going up. I'm kind of happy that I'm lazy and I waited, because now I have this really cool thing to talk about, which is the submission. But you know, uh, look forward to today. There should be a stream, obviously. But thank you all for watching. If you want to like, comment, share, subscribe, do it. Put a comment in if you want. If you can tell me ways to improve, I'll try to read I'll try to read whatever you guys write. And I really do appreciate it for everybody who watched, even for a second, even for a minute. I really do appreciate it. And I'd like to bid you all a farewell.